Right, so the new commitment of traders data tab we have here is the CoT data. So from the feedback I've had so far on the direct messages is that it's confusing for the layman. If you're new to all this, um, it's just like how I said just now in the direct message. At a high level, let's use the pound contracts. These are in thousands. So that's 25,000, that's minus 125,000. And that's obviously, this is the time, and this is the contract. So, and the pound, we see we nearly went into positive territory there. Don't know if it'll give us a date. It does in April. It didn't quite cross the zero, and it got rejected. And at that point where it would become a buy because the lines crossed, and now all you're doing is looking for like the crossing of lines. So you had one up here and you had one down here. As the blue line crosses the red from below, so it becomes a buy. We're going to get across here. The blue's line is going to cross the red. Hopefully you can see this okay. Zoom in perhaps, maybe even more. Yeah, so once that crosses, and that'll be a sell signal. But that's about it really. The difference would always be around the zero. It will fluctuate around there. That difference is simply the difference between actual and previous. But yeah, so the pound would have been the buy at that point. And when did it tell us the date? In August. See, it was minus 95 contracts, and how it's come up. And you would have seen the pound do quite well recently. So yeah, we can use this at a high level. Gold, as you can see, we've got a cross here, right? So you're just looking, just as I keep saying, these crossovers. SPX is interesting. It's gonna go one side or the other. Well, you imagine it will go up because if you look at the sentiment, the SSI for the Standard & Poor 500, the retail are really bearish. For 11 people selling, there's one person buying. So as long as everyone's calling the top, it will continue to go up. So yeah, it's a bit like it looks like it's getting squeezed, and there's going to be a release on that. The Australian dollar had a cross down, so that would be bearish. Yen, see, it did go into a positive territory, and it's come back down again. Now the question is, will it come down to here or will it come down to here? These will be some supports. But as you say, we've got across, didn't quite cross over there, and it discontinued. The euro, well, sluggish, and that's why you'd be bearish. Potentially a little crossover there, but you can just see it at a high level. It's going down. Yeah, the Kiwi, likewise, CAD up, but we've got a cross, so that can be a sell. Swiss franc, it's underneath the zero line, so that'd be bearish. And last two, silver's had a cross down, so that would be bearish. And crude oil hasn't made a cross, and it's above positive territory, so that'd be bullish. So only when it crosses would you sell, but you have to bear in mind where it is in proximity to the zero, so it's above. That's it. So you can probably ignore the data down here. You don't really need to see that, unless you really wanted to, of course. But that's the new tab. And yeah, so hopefully it's clear. If it's not, then let me know. But essentially, it's just a crossover strategy at a high level, a very, very high level. And this is what the banks are using too. So we use this in conjunction to the retail sentiment. And you'll see how they're inversely correlated. The retail are always doing the opposite of what the banks are. So that's that. So this is an interesting one. When it comes out on Friday, we'll get the new CoT data for the pound. If it's a negative print, that will cross, and then that will become a sell. But we didn't quite manage that high. It looks like we're not going to manage that high. it's still early days, but this bit of a squeeze here. So that's that really, and yeah, that's your new tab.